As we've been reporting, policing and the training of police officers here in the U.S. are receiving renewed attention in the wake of George Floyd's death. Tonight, we take a closer look at what reform could look like and best practices going forward. Joining me now on Skype to talk more about that is Chuck Wexler, Executive Director of the Police Executive Research Forum, an independent research and policy organization. Chuck, welcome to the show. Good to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Chuck, you put out a report back in 2016 that outlined 30 guiding principles on the use of force for police departments. In it, you say the sanctity of human life should be at the heart of everything an agency does. Can you tell me more about that as a foundation?
Well, that was very important to us back then as we thought about the issues we were confronting. What is policing all about? What is the most important thing for a police officer to remember in every encounter? And that was the sanctity of human life. That is why police exist. Their job is to protect other people's lives, to put the other people before them, and to serve people in a way that is humane. When I worked in Northern Ireland, they refer to it as human rights. We believe the sanctity of human life is everything. Is very important for police officers to think of. Part of this also is to remind them, that in certain situations you have to be prepared to put other people's lives before your own. So and that was important too, because I remember being in I think it was Scotland, and someone said to me, we had a police officer from the United States over, said the most important thing is for police officers to go home safely at night. That's what we would say. And I remember someone saying to me, why do you say that? And I said, well, we want police officers to go home safely. And they said, what we would say is that the most important thing is for everybody to go home safely. So that was really crystallized in our minds. So we thought stating that as the first principle was very important to remind people, to remind police, community, everybody, sanctity of human life. That's why we exist.
Yeah, and Chuck, I know you also highlight other officers' duties to intervene. What role can that play in stopping cases of excessive force?
Well, that's really important. That was why it's one of the top principles, the duty to intervene. And that principle actually came out 30 years ago in the Rodney King incident. Rodney King was beaten by Los Angeles police officers, significant amount of time. It was a video, maybe one of the first viral videos. When people would look at that incident, they would certainly hold the officers responsible. But the other question they had from a management standpoint is there was a sergeant there. And they thought, what was that sergeant thinking? Why didn't he intervene? There are always going to be, so that was the takeaway, that duty to intervene, the responsibility that if something happens and you don't agree, you have an official responsibility and a moral responsibility to step in. And if you look at the Rodney King incident and you look at the incident in Minneapolis, both of those incidents could have been averted if someone had said, whoa, stop, wait. You would have saved a life in Minneapolis. You would have saved careers in Los Angeles. So the win-win situation is you're always going to have, in any institution, you're going to have people that make mistakes. The question is, can you have other people get involved, step in, and say, hey, stop that?
Well, Chuck, I really wish we had more time to talk, but I thank you for the time that you gave me. Chuck Wexler, Executive Director of the Police Executive Research Forum. Thank you again for your insights.
Thank you.